Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning Artist. I'm Levi, and today I have something interesting I want to share with you. I'm going to show you what went into making this 3D painting. I'm not going to share every single detailed step, because that would be boring and it would take forever. So instead, I'm going to just touch on a few points that I think you might find interesting, or helpful should you try this yourself. So let's get started. For this project, I'm using Blender 2.79. And the first thing I did was make a 3D model that I would be painting on as a canvas. For this, I sketched two perspectives of the face in Photoshop, and then I used box modeling back in Blender to get as close as possible to the reference. This method got me most of the way there and allowed me to create clean and flowing lines of topology without re-topologizing. Later, some shapes and details were added using the sculpt tool along with a multi-res modifier. In the end, I came out with this, and I was ready to start painting. Well, almost. First, I needed to unwrap the face. If you're not familiar with 3D art, unwrapping is the process of flattening and mapping your object's vertices to points on a flat plane. Or in other words, you are cutting the 3D model so it lays flat on the table. I took a good bit of time on this to make sure that there would not be any crazy amount of stretching in the texture. Wanting this model to have somewhat accurate lighting, I decided to use Blender's ability to bake light into a texture. I would then use these values and hues as a base for my painting. So once I was happy with the unwrap, I started setting up lights and some basic materials on my mesh. The pose was a bit boring, so a few bones were quickly added to move the head around. I found a pose and did a bit more lighting. Then once everything was set up, I baked the textures. Now comes the interesting part, painting. There are a few interesting tips I want to share about painting in Blender. First, I was able to bring my custom brushes from Photoshop into Blender and set them up to get very similar results. I did this by exporting the brush shape as a PNG image from Photoshop. The brush shape was white and the background transparent. I was then able to use this as a brush texture in Blender. One other tool I had to tweak before feeling comfortable painting in Blender was the color picker tool. In Photoshop, if you click Alt, it gives you a color picker tool. I use this constantly when painting to blend and grab previously used colors. Thankfully, Blender has this tool as well. This tool proved to be a bit strange though. It picks colors without clicking. You just hover over the color and let go of the quick key. It's confusing. I'm not sure why it isn't set up like every other painting program. Anyway, once I figured that out, the rest of my time was spent painting and tweaking from every angle, which eventually led to the final result, an interactive piece of art. I hope you found this video useful, or at the very least entertaining. If you haven't already seen the 3D model, be sure to check out learningartist.com. Thanks for watching.